Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, global markets reporter at Nasdaq, with daily insight on the Nasdaq-100 index, or the NDX, which is made up of 100 of the largest domestic and international non-financial innovative companies listed on the Nasdaq stock market. The NDX has been the barometer for U.S. large cap growth and also one of the best performing indexes over the last decade and a half, not to mention one of the most liquid index ecosystems in the world. Joining me this Monday afternoon is Mike Sokoll, Senior Managing Director on Nasdaq's Market Intelligence Desk, for an update on Nasdaq 100 levels. And Mike, it's great to see you. Welcome back to Trade Talk. And let's talk about Nasdaq 100 performance this afternoon, down earlier in the session and making somewhat of a comeback in the afternoon.
Yeah, and let's not forget, I mean, the Nasdaq 100 is up 36% year to date, and even including today's activity. So, it's had an incredibly strong year. And what we've seen today, and really over the last 3 weeks, is as we've gotten some new virus cure potential news out there over the last 3 Mondays anyway, that's prompted some folks to say, you know what, there's light at the other end of this tunnel, and we might get to a little bit more normal. And so some of those stocks that were winners in that, in that environment would just, an opportunity to take some profits. And certainly some sectors like energy and financials and others that would be more old economy have been rising. So I think when you see the Nasdaq 100, it's sort of, topped out near 12,000. It's been hanging around there. It's flat today. A little bit hard to get through that just because you have all this sector rotation under the hood.
Yeah, Mike, it almost seems like for at least, the next, let's call it 3 to 4 months, certainly the first half of 2021, we should expect some of that action as we work through the vaccine being disseminated through the population, understanding how bad COVID-19 is going to get through the winter here. So there could be some back and forth until we get a little bit more visibility.
Yeah, and I think we saw that with the Dow. It got very, very close to 30,000. That was last week early. And then for most of last week, and the Dow actually closed lower because just to exactly your point, folks started thinking about, we still got to get through to where you have mass immunization of the population. And until then, as these numbers in some cases are hitting records in some locales, there's shutdowns potentially, there's economic pain, there's human pain, and we have to get through that to the other side. And so, you saw a little bit of sell-off there.
Yeah, and Mike, so let's talk about this holiday shortened week that we have in the United States. Of course, closed on Thursday for Thanksgiving, and stocks will be closed at 1, bonds at 2 on Friday. But there's still a lot to watch. There's certainly no shortage of headlines. I think the consumer is going to highlight the week.
Yeah, we're getting into, believe it or not, Black Friday's coming up. And so we're getting back into that whole holiday season thing. It's a little, like everything else in 2020, it's a little weird this year. And stores are rolling it out kind of online and in a graduated way. But yeah, if the consumer can stay strong, and of course, fiscal stimulus might be, at least as far as the market headlines go, part of that. But I think if the consumer can continue to spend, you would have, hopefully some good numbers coming out. The economic numbers have been pretty decent. And the things to watch for are some of the more high frequency indicators like, car registrations and restaurant openings or closings and things like that to really gauge how the consumer is behaving.
Yep. Speaking of rolling back, I've noticed, at least in my neighborhood, that holiday decorations are up certainly much earlier than they have been in years past. So I think you're onto something there, Mike. Thanks as always for joining us on Trade Talks. And thanks for joining me. I'm Jill Malandrino, global markets reporter at Nasdaq.